We have with us Nemat Sadat, who is an Afghan journalist and activist. How much of your debut novel, The Carpet Weaver, draws in your own life and experiences?
I share the same identity as Kanishka, the hero. We're both gay, we're both Afghan, and we're both refugees. Thankfully, I have not received any negative feedback. It's very different from my own experience when I came out of the closet in August 2013, where I received numerous death threats and a fatwa.
So we all know that King Amanullah used to be very liberal. We don't know so much about what he thought about the LGBTQ, whether he at all kind of gave any importance to them or not.
King Amanullah Khan, I think that if that trajectory would have continued, and Afghanistan did continue to pursue the phase of secularization and modernization, if we had the absence of war these past 40 years, I think that the evolution would have been decriminalization of homosexuality and gay rights and gay marriage. I am here today because King Amanullah Khan allowed my grandmother to get education. Made it compulsory, have the right to vote. And if it wasn't for my grandmother, my mother getting an education, being able to be an independent Afghan woman to raise her kids by herself in the United States. Think about it. That situation allowed for me to come out as a gay man.
So during your time at the American University in Kabul, did you get to meet LGBTQ members who had survived the Taliban years?
I did meet with LGBT people in coffee shops, at hotels. They were basically saying that, the situation right now, at the time when I was there in 2013, was not much better than under the Taliban. Because, for example, in the years since I've come out, I've had Afghans tell me that the Afghan National Director of Security has a kill and dump policy. And so this is something that the Americans and Westerners are paying for this US and allied occupation. The Afghan government quietly tapping into LGBT groups and trying to break them up by trying to lure them into these honey traps. So this is experience, and they're saying that Taliban was very clear cut what they were doing. With the current Afghan government, there's this double face. They put one face on for the Western government, and then secretly and quietly, they're doing this persecution of LGBT people.
Now, would you still support Ashraf Ghani and his views?
I support any candidate that will support LGBT rights, that will come out and openly do that. Ashraf Ghani has not done that, so there's no way I will endorse him.
Have you met any queer women or lesbians in Afghanistan, and what are their stories?
In Afghanistan, I think it's probably worse to be a lesbian person, because there's a double threat against you, because you're a woman and because you're homosexual. So a lot of times women have messaged me and they said, you know what, I have to endure a life of rape by my husband, and I can never voice that I have no attraction to him. And I find that at least if you're a gay man in Afghanistan, you can still get out of the house and go network with other men. But because of the gender apartheid, the gender segregation, you can't do that. And if you're transgender, you almost have kind of like how heteros are here or in Pakistan, other countries. There is this more tolerance, which is really interesting, because in the US, transgenders face the most deaths and persecution of anybody in the LGBT community.
Has your family accepted you, and what do they think about you coming out as gay and also sort of giving up on Islam?
Oh yes, so I think it was very hard for them. I came out, both gay and ex-Muslim. And it's been a gradual process. Of course, I have a good relationship with my mother and my sister, and they accept me for who I am and for my beliefs. And with my father and brother, we don't have that much. I don't have contact with them, and extended relatives. It's a mixed bag.